Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. So today we have paid off a debt. We are down to $0 for Vivint. So just a little backstory. So Vivint was the security system that I had when I was living in my current apartment like 10 years ago. And then I moved out and I told them, hey, I'm not going to use the security system anymore because I'm moving in with my mom, me and my son. So I don't need it anymore. And they were like, oh, that's cool, that's fine, or whatever. I was like, so how can I send the equipment back to you all? They were like, we don't do that. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, we don't do that. We're not taking the equipment back, but you still have to pay for it. And I said, no. So I was like, no. And this was in 2019. It is currently 2026. So this is one of my oldest debts besides my student loans. This is the second oldest debt that I have, and I'm finally done with it. So what happened was they messaged me and said, hey, if you pay a discounted amount, we can delete the debt. And so I was like, well, how much is discounted? And they tell me, $400. And I was like, okay, I could do that. Like, absolutely. I can definitely do that. But it had to be paid by July 31st. So I've been doing Uber Eats to make some extra money. I've been really hunkering down on budgeting just to pay the $400. And you can see I started on June 26th, and the last payment was July 10th. So I have two different amounts here because what I did was I calculated for the sake of my debt tracker, and we'll get to that in a second, because my debt tracker, the total amount of my debt was this amount. I did the debt tracker before they was like, hey, you can just do $400. So what I did was I subtracted 400 from 719.36, and that's how I got 319.36. So I knew that's how much I had to have left over to have paid off the $400. That's how much would be in the account. So let's go to the debt tracker and fill it in. So this is my debt tracker. And so the last time I filled this in was July 6th. Today is July 14th. And so I have, I've been keeping track of how much I've been paying so that I know how much to fill in. The last time I filled this in was July 6th, and I haven't updated it since then. So July 6th, it was 433.86. So that's essentially how much that I would be coloring in because now it is at zero. So 433.36 divided by 58. Why did I do that? 433.86 divided by 58. So I'm coloring in about 7.5 squares. So let's see, what color do I want to use? Let's do green. So 7.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and half of that one. Oh, this is so exciting to be finally paid off this debt, and I'm like making way. So I'm almost at like 25% of this debt paid off. So the other thing is my 401k loan, this first one. Um, when I get paid on the 22nd, I will have $104 left to pay. I'm just going to go ahead and pay it off. So we will have another debt payoff this month. This is exciting, y'all. This is so exciting. The fact that I've been able to do this so quickly is great. It is really great. And so after that's paid off, I'm going to call debt collectors that have this debt for Kelsey Siebold and ask them what can I settle for that amount. Because I would like to settle the debt. I would like to pay it off. I would like to be done with it. Because like I went on Google and I think I've said this in a previous video that the debt collectors, they're not paying this amount when they take your debt or when they take your debt from whoever you owe it to initially. They're paying between 10 and 15%. So essentially they could have paid like $300-400 for this 2,500. Well, it was actually higher than that. It was like 3,000 something. But I'm like, y'all could have actually paid a lot less than that. So I want to see how much they will settle for, and so I can be done with that. I am the type of person who I am okay with settling debts. I'm okay with paying a lesser amount because this whole thing about Vivint and this bill here, I'm not even going to get into this last bill, but the whole thing around both of them is just like, I shouldn't have had to pay them in the first place. So that is my debt update. We are on track. This has not moved because I'm not able to make payments on my cell phones with AT&T. Like you have to pay the whole amount. So that's why this is just a monthly like $36.95 for both of our cell phones. And that's it. So this is exciting. This is very exciting. I want to celebrate, but I'm like, no, I will celebrate when all of these are paid off and then move on to my student loans. So thank y'all for watching.